Consuelo, can you see me? Her microphone is off. You have to click to switch it on. Good evening. Can you hear me now? Can we do it again, please? Good evening. Can you show us again the sign language? Can you do it again, please? Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Welcome. And good morning is like this, right? Yes, that's correct. Look at that. I'm going to teach you something. Web, marketing, festival. Good. Well done. Well, start of future is too difficult for me. And this is applause, right? Yeah. Okay, since menus, we've been talking about sign language. This year, we saw that there was a sign interpreting also for Sanremo. We wanted the same for Start of Future, but of course it was too difficult due to their COVID restrictions. But we will try to have it for future events for the deaf community. We've got a question. You're also an architect, but this is something we will talk about during the next festival edition. I wanted to ask you, what are the difficulties you are experiencing as a deaf community? Masks. We're all wearing masks, and masks are making things more complicated in terms of communication. Can you tell us something about this? Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I'll try to make myself clear, although my voice is a bit strange, but I'm gonna try and sum up what we are experiencing right now, what's happening to us in a few minutes, all of the difficulties we are experiencing right now. I'd like to explain this from the personal point of view, but also from the professional point of view. So I'm gonna try and give you the apocalypse scenario that we are all experiencing. But I'd like to make a short introduction before talking about difficulties. Hearing impaired people are living in a world where vocal communication plays a very important role, but even worse, we cannot take part in the daily life now. Hearing impaired people communication has lots of nuances, so it's very difficult to distinguish also between them, because there are people who are talking, people who are just using sign language, or people who know 3 languages, both in terms of spoken and sign languages. But of course, once again, we're all different like anyone else, because we're all different. And we've got difference within our community as well. So I don't want any misunderstanding in this sense. But we gathered, so we found ourselves in this apocalyptic scenario. It's like a science fiction movie where you're experiencing a parallel reality, like in a crystal ball. A crystal ball where information is not getting in and not getting out. You can't communicate with the people around you. So living at the COVID time means experiencing an apocalyptic reality, because even in the few moments when you have a contact with the rest of the community, you see these empty streets, people wearing masks, wearing hats, with glasses or protections, and you can't really see anything. Maybe you can hear some voices. Someone can hear a little bit and can hear some voices, and then there are, however, people that cannot hear anything at all, and this way they cannot understand anything at all. So it's a sort of titanic enterprise when you have to go out, or when you go outdoors, you have huge communication problems. Let me make an example. When you go to the supermarket, it's a sort of silent movie. But actually, it's the only life or lively environment you can get into. So usually when we go to the supermarket, we avoid the fresh product counters in order to avoid talking to people. We buy packaged products. And when we get to the cashier, since I've also worked in emergency situations and I'm part of the National Observatory for Disabled People, well, I learned something in terms of technical strategies and communication strategies. So what do I do when I get to the cashier? Since everybody's wearing a mask and there's a protection, a glass protection, I say, I'm a deaf person. I cannot read your lips. I can maybe recognize your voice with an app, but it's not possible to do that perfectly because there's too much background noise and there's a glass between us. So I say, I'm a deaf person. I don't need this. I don't have the card. I can read the price on the display. No problem. Don't worry about it. If you have to tell me something, since I cannot read your lips, you can write it on a piece of paper or you can make some gestures, some signs with your hands. So just in case you need to communicate and tell me something different, we will find a strategy to communicate. This is what I do. But this communication is usually effective. Sign language could be a very important resource we could all learn. So it can be a resource not just for the deaf community, but for the whole community. So with that meter distance you have to keep for social distancing and for safety, well, it can overcome by sign language. If people would learn sign language, they can make themselves understandable and clear. So it could be an interesting thing. So sign language is not just as a resource for a few, but a resource for everybody. Yeah, absolutely. Is there any digital application together with the one you showed? So can digital technologies help? Yeah, of course. Yes, I would have explained this because there are lots of technologies we use. This is a Google app, so voice recognition, because I can't hear really anything. I can get vibrations, but not sounds. And this is an app that makes it possible for me to see in real time what the person is saying. So it's very precise. And this is one of the latest technology applications we can use with our smartphones. Okay, Consuelo, thank you very much for this contribution. Of course, we will carry on supporting the deaf community to spread the sign language because it's another language exactly like the Italian language. Maybe people think that you can hear something, but actually you learn the Italian language and you read lips. So it's a foreign language you are breathing from the lips. But of course, you need some more support. We are trying to support you in terms of sign language dissemination. So see you soon. Thank you very much once again. Very good. So I'm going to tell you the other things in a different presentation. Yes, we're going to have an interview on YouTube together, okay? So that you can tell us more. I wanted to make a round of applause for you. Thank you so much. And have a fruitful session. And remember that the future starts today. Thank you once again.